All right. We'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Jeffrey Ropn, case number 25 CF 1093. Can we get the appearances, please?
State appeared by Dane County District Attorney Bobzian.
Mr. Ropn, state appears by Zoom. I'm attorney Busady. I'm making a special appearance for today only on behalf of Mr. Ropn. On behalf of my partner, Lisa C. Goldman, who's always saying who can't be here. She makes a special appearance for the day only also, and will Nola so they can unless she has.
Okay, thank you. And do you acknowledge receipt of the copy of the complaint?
Yes, and the way reading it, stand new and observe on the right to jurisdictional actions.
Okay. And I reviewed the complaint earlier today. Looks like all three counts are felony counts. For today's purposes, I'm prepared to make a finding of probable cause. Can the defense counsel confirm that the mailing address that we have on the complaint is the correct mailing address?
Absolutely, it is, but we need to ask him to confirm it.
Okay. The Bill can unmute that computer there. Mr. Ropn, we've got an address on Delaware Boulevard. I just want to make sure that's the right mailing address for you.
Yes.
Okay, we've got it. Thank you very much. Let's get the state's recommendation on bail.
First, I would note that we are in compliance with victim rights. We do not have any victims wishing to speak. We do have a victim in attendance here, but I do not believe she wishes to speak.
Okay, thank you.
I have handed the clerk and the defense an initials ID sheet for them to understand their complaint.
Okay.
This case is unprecedented. These facts allege that Mr. Ropn purchased and provided firearms and allowed unlimited access to the internet to his minor child, knowing her concerning history and fragile mental health status. There was no other person who knew the child better than the defendant. His actions and lack of judgment here contributed to the fatal and tragic mass violence incident at Abundant Light Prisons. With these facts, we would likely start with a request for cash bail from $500,000 to $1 million with additional conditions. We have 2 deceased victims, multiple gunshot victims, one still in critical condition, all still dealing with the problem. But the defendant, Mr. Ropn, was not the actual shooter. And these charges are not Act 3 offenses. Mr. Ropn does not have criminal history. Mr. Ropn has ties to our community. Mr. Ropn purchased the firearms legally. But Mr. Ropn, in providing the firearms to a minor child, was responsible for the minor's actions with firearms. So as it relates to cash, the state is requesting a total of $100,000. Count 1, intentionally give a dangerous weapon to a person under the age of 18, causing death, $40,000. Count 2, intentionally give a dangerous weapon to a person under the age of 18, causing death, $40,000. Count 3, contributing to the delinquency of a child, felony, $20,000, with a total of $100,000. Other conditions: not to purchase and or possess firearms, no contact with Abundant Light Christian School, and not to be on the 4900 block east of Buckeye Road in the city of Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin. If cash is posted, the state requests bail monitoring with GPS bracelet, and that bracelet be attached and activated prior to his release from the Dane County jail.
And let me just confirm, was it the 4900 block of East Buckeye Road?
Yes.
And Can we clarify, because I did read in a complaint that Mr. Rugnow apparently owns weapons and has a safe, and so when you request that he not possess firearms, if he owns firearms that are locked in a safe, is that permissible?
At this time, we believe all firearms that were occupying that safe are now in custody of the police.
Okay.
And so we are asking no purchase and or possession of firearms for the duration of this case.
Thank you for that clarification. We'll hear from defense counsel. Do you have any objection to what's being proposed or a counter argument?
Yes, I understand he's asking for cash paid a substantial amount. I don't believe that's appropriate. There's been an assessment of risk assessment, is my understanding. The pretrial services has done a risk assessment that shows a low risk and perhaps a low responsible risk. That's squarely in the range of signature on being appropriate. He has no prior conditions. He owns his own phone. He has a job, a full-time job. His parents reside here. He's been a lifetime Dane County resident. He has no criminal convictions. My understanding, was cooperative with the investigation in this matter. And some period of time that's gone by, he was here. He showed no signs of being at risk of not coming whenever the court schedules. There's no reason to hold him in jail under those circumstances. He did inform me that a search warrant, civil understanding search warrant, was executed at his home yesterday. His firearms have been confiscated at the start of this matter. He hasn't purchased any since. He doesn't have any. They did seize a new laptop that he purchased after they seized the one he had when the events occurred. He requested that be returned to him so that he can pay his bills and take care of those things. Theirs. The other, as I understand, was the non-cash conditions were no firearms, no contact with witnesses, wasn't not be on 4900 block of Wagner Road, and then they want on monitoring, right? Can that be done today?
Well, it depends if or when it's released, but the request was that it be done prior to his release to Douglas.
He stands back to charges.
Okay. Any rebuttal back then from the state?
Your Honor, I would just say again, this is unprecedented. And we do have 2 deceased. We have multiple gunshot victims. As it's the defendant's actions and inaction that contributed to this incident.
All right. Well, first of all, some legitimate points are being made on both sides of this. The defendant does not have a criminal record, and I don't think it's a case where it should be the intent of the court to set bail so high that he was unable to post. We have no information at the present time of what his ability to post would be. However, I'm not comfortable with just the signature bond, given the nature of this, the seriousness of it. I think just recognizing the significance of this and the seriousness and the potential penalties, that some cash bail is appropriate, and bail can be revisited at a later time. So we're very early in the process, but I think some significant cash is appropriate. I don't know that we need the amount requested by the state, but something's nevertheless significant. So I'll order a total of $20,000 cash bail, and I'll order further that if that bail is posted, that Mr. Ropn be fitted with GPS prior to his release and be monitored by pretrial services for his location. There will be the further conditions that he not purchase or possess any firearms, that he not have any contact with Abundant Life Christian School, and that he not be on the 4900 block of East Buckeye Road in the city of Madison. Did I miss anything with regard to the conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the next question is Mr. Ropn going to waive the time limits for the preliminary hearing? Would you like that scheduled in a timely manner?
But we would move that.
Waive the time limit?
Yeah.
We'll get a status conference scheduled then, and we'll go from there. And I think that's all we could
Have you heard on the cash bail that you're setting?
if you have something further to say, I'll listen.
Yeah. He doesn't have the means, the ability to have a cash bill at 20,000. I think he'd make it to do 1,000, but he's not a wealthy man. And he's got to work to pay his bills to keep his house. So when you're effective, you might as well give him 100,000. He claims it. He can't raise 20.
All right. Well, as I indicated, we were so early in the process that we had no idea what his actual ability would be. So, as I indicated, bail can be revisited, and if he's not able to post, and if you wish to file something that have bail reviewed, we can take that up as necessary. So I think that's all for today. Thank you, everybody. We'll go off the record. I think I've heard we have Mr. Edwards at the jail, and that's a forfeiture complaint. You can get Mr. Edwards unmuted there so we can talk to him. That would be great. Mr. Edwards, can you hear me? What we have here is a forfeiture complaint. Did they get you a copy of that complaint?
It says that disorderly conduct is what I have here.
Right. It says county disorderly conduct. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the bottom line is they're not charging you with a crime. You're just charged with an ordinance violation. And so we might be able to resolve the case today. So we'll get a proposal on behalf of the county, and then you can decide how you would like to plead, okay?
Your Honor, the proposal would be courthouse only.
Okay. So, Mr. Edwards, you won't be held in jail on this matter any longer. You can choose to settle the case by pleading guilty or no contest and agree to pay $114.50. Or if you would rather plead not guilty, we can get a pretrial conference set at a later date.
I would agree, no contest, sir.
All right. Well, that'll resolve your case. They'll give you some information on how to get that $114.50 paid, and that should take care of it.
Can I ask for time to pay, sir?
They'll automatically give you 60 days. Is that enough time for you?
Enough time, sir. Thank you.
You can make that arrangement with the clerk of court's office. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.
Next up, we'll have Ryan of Procedural.
If you need me to slow down or wait, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep going.
Sounds good, thank you.
Uh, we'll call State of Wisconsin versus Ryan Drew, case number 25CM 1031. Could you get the appearances, please?
Assistant District Attorney Jack Schneider from the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Drew, your honor, appears in person with counsel Stan Woodard of the Public Defender's Office and advise the court he's eligible for a public defender. I do have a copy of the complaint. I waive reading of this complaint. 2 counts of misdemeanor counts are fine and probably cause of other court. We stand mute as court then please of not guilty.
All right. You verify the address, the one on Cypress Way, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Rick address, your honor.
Great. I will find probable cause. We will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Drew's behalf. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond for Mr. Drew with the non-monetary conditions that he be banned from all Kohl's and Old Navy locations.
Any objection?
Right to that. And stay out of those places. We have no objection to the recommendation made by the state, your honor.
There will be a signature bond then with specific bail conditions that Mr. Drew not be in any polls or Old Navy stores while this case is pending. And you can follow up with the public defender's office, okay? Good luck. Thank you.
Next is going to be Daniel Sprecher's for bail hearing.
All right, we will go on the record for a bail hearing in the state of Wisconsin versus Daniel Sprecher, case number 24CM 1846. Did we get the appearances, please?
Hey, Jack Schneider for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Sprinkler appears in person, your honor, with counsel Stan Woodard of the Public Defender's Office. And advise Mr. Sprinkler as well as the court at this time, you're not eligible for a public defender, sir. There's the take that. Right, but I represent you for the nation purpose. So maybe you'll be there. Very good. All right. I will acknowledge on Mr. Sprinkler's behalf, proceeds a complaint, quick reading this complaint, your honor, pertains to 2 counts here that they are misdemeanor matters. Find a probable cause by the court, we stand mute past urging the piece of not guilty. You have heard that this happened a year ago, and I thought the mayor was taking care of it. And yesterday, I witnessed the third Wednesday, it was an accident. They put the hand in there's like the same thing, basically.
I'm just reviewing I'm reviewing the court file. And I'm a little confused because it looks like there's a bail hearing because he missed trial conference.
Because they had work.
Hold on a second. You can get back. It's like he missed a pre-trial conference on September 19th, but then I'm not seeing the bail form indicating that he had the initial appearance. Can you have the state clarify that? I'm not sure why it would have been set for a pre-trial conference.
I had in my notes that he had a initial appearance on August 12th of 2024 in the public safety building here.
Okay. For some reason, the bail form is not in the court file that I would normally have. I'll check one other place to see if it shows me. Yeah. Okay, the court record does indicate that there was a signature bond issued on August 12th, 2024 And at that time, there was a pre-trial conference scheduled for September 19th, 2024. And then he missed that pre-trial, and that's why the warrant was issued, and that's why we're here today. So I think we've got that all figured out. So does the state have a request for bail today?
Your Honor, without more information about that Venice court appearance and Mr. Sprecker's whereabouts in the last 8 months, I do think that $100 or $150 cash bail would be appropriate.
All right, we'll hear from the defense side. Yeah.
You know, here's a situation, Mr. Specker, in a general sense, I've just talked to him in a short period of time here. He's a man of, doesn't have a lot of income. I say that respectfully. But he's a man who does not have a lot of income. He was, you were here where we staying at the men's show. He stays at the men's shelter. Stayed there, and then he ended up going to Barrelwood. And he does not have a phone. Right there. Is that correct? I got 5 the phones stolen last year. There's what happened to him. The phones were taken from him, and this is how he gets here. There was an accident, he wasn't involved in it, but he was there and saw it and talked to the police about what he saw. Well, the police did their job as they do, wanted to know who he was. He had to write that down. They came back and told him, said, you got it wrong. And that's how he came back. Here today, we got him. Where are you living at now? You got shelter for a long time. The guy shelter here in Madison? Yeah. So this letter for address is not good enough. So I'm supposed to let
Would it be the beat 615 East Washington?
No, East Washington, of course, the way it's called.
Do you know the address? Is that the one on the Cruza Trail?
I believe it's right by things sporting until by East Stone.
Is that Desire Road?
Well, actually, Your Honor, I get my mail through Beacon, so that's my mail again.
Okay, well that's why I was asking, because I want to make sure that you can get mail for future court appearances.
You're right.
So if we change your mailing address, the Beacon at 615 East Washington, will you be able to receive mail?
Correct.
Okay.
And with that, Your Honor, we're asking for a reinstatement and signature bond. This is a misdemeanor matter, not to depreciate the charge here, but it's just a criminal damage, and disorderly. Once again, it's not the most serious cases. The disorderly conduct is a 90-day, as the court knows, and criminal damage obviously is a 9-month misdemeanor. But at this point, he doesn't have wherewithal of post cash bail. We're asking to give him a second chance, which is not unusual sometimes in these types of cases. But that's our request, Judge.
Is it unreasonable to infer that he might have some access to a small cash bail, given he doesn't qualify for a public defender?
I can come up with it. I got $5 where I got pulled over. That was it. I get Social Security. The third one's every month, and I get a pension. I worked for 43 years.
I should probably let you know that it's possible you could get reevaluated and maybe qualify for a public defender. So you might want to think about that.
I really don't need one. Okay. I mean, I'm guilty of the charges filed against you.
All right. Well, that's going to get sorted out later.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I'll give you one more chance here with a signature bond.
Thank you.
And but make sure that they're going to give you notice when you get released that when your next court date is. It'll probably be another status conference with the judge. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure you don't miss that. If you do, the judge's going to issue a warrant and you're right back.
I will again my word.
And we're able to settle the case.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, good. All right.
All right, good luck. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor. See you.
Stay out of trees, all right?
Next up is Isama Smiri, hearing by Zoom from the jail.
See, this will be all
There it goes.
So I'm being informed by the bail that Smiri is refusing to participate in this hearing,
He's what?
refusing to participate in this hearing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you wanna proceed.
We can wait till the end.
Here, or we can be set for until Monday. I don't know if it's a must go.
I would say we wait till the end of the court session today. And if he's still not cooperating, we've set it for Monday.
So next up is gonna be Michael Bigelow. Bigelow? Before going.
All right, we'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Michael Nicola, case number 25CM1032. If we get the appearances, please.
Assistant District Attorney Jack Schneider from the state of Wisconsin.
So, Nicole. All right. Mr. Nicola appears in person here, our counsel standing orders the public defender's office. This time, Mr. Nicola has not been evaluated by our office, so I will represent him for today's purposes. If he wishes to have a public defender, he needs to contact our office and he's getting that information in order to do so. I drew up a copy of the complaint in this matter. I waive this complaint. It's a one-count matter, which is a misdemeanor matter for finding probable cause level 4. We stand you as clerk general, plead not guilty.
Is the address on Prairie Grass Road still the right mailing address?
Yes.
Okay. I will find probable cause. We will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Nicola's behalf. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond from Mr. Nicola with the non-monetary conditions that he have no contact with NRK and that he abide by injunction in Dane County case 25 CV 151.
Any objection? Go, Your Honor. I'll go along with the signature bonds. We'll have specific bail conditions that Mr. Nicola have no contact with NRK. That doesn't mean in person, writing, phone, email, us, any kind of contact whatsoever. And then he abide by the injunction in case number 25 CV 151. And that should be it for today. Thank you. Good luck.
Yes. Yeah. So next up is
Thank you.
gonna be Brett Bobzian.
My niece, just one moment, Commissioner.
Sure.
Thank you. We can make sure that was 25 CV 151, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. All set, thank you.
Great. We will go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Brett Bobzian, case number 25CF 1050. Can we get the appearances, please?
Hey, Jack Schneider from the state of Wisconsin.
One moment, Your Honor. I understand what it was going to finish on behalf of Mr. Bobzian, who appears in person, who is eligible for a public defender. I do have a copy of the complaint, this matter. I was reading that complaint, Your Honor, as it appears that there are misdemeanor matters in this complaint from finding probable cause by the court, and they would then stand mute at the particular being not guilty. In regard to the felony matters contained therein in this complaint, upon finding probable cause by the court, to be requesting a preliminary hearing.
Is the address on South Marion Avenue still a good mailing address?
Yes.
Okay, I will find probable cause. We will enter not guilty plea as to all misdemeanor counts. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $5,000 cash bail for Mr. Bobzian with the non-monetary conditions that he have no contact with Beth G, that he have no contact with co-defendant Alexander Metzger, that's METZGPR, that he not use or possess alcohol, and that he not be on any premises where alcohol is sold. I do believe this is Mr. Bobzian's set of third case. In Dane County, this one involves a robbery with use of force at a liquor store, where the state just believes that significant cash bail is appropriate, not only given the Act 3 nature of the offense, but also the numerous cases that Mr. Bobzian has. He also has a multitude of failures to appear in his history, so I do think significant cash bail is appropriate.
Mr. Bobzian, Your Honor, in terms of posting cash bail at this time, not in a situation where he's able to do that. One of the mid-court situations was a foul up, not necessarily on his end. But he did make his other court appearances, and he did take care of that. He did have to post $1,000. He did post that, filed a motion to amend that because he doesn't have any further wherewithal to post bail. Line of the charge here, which is April 20th. Been a short time ago, but April 20th, mind the fact that these are death matters, we're asking for a signature by him.
Looks like he fairly recently cash bail set of $1,500. Or another case that was on April 29th. Just taking a look at the other pending cases. Well, it looks like in two separate cases on April 29th, he had $1,500 cash bail set. Making that 3, it looks like. Check one more here. Well, it looks like at the moment he's got $1,500 cash bail for pre-existing cases. Those were set. Those were so the charge in this case predates that. So it's at least it's not a case where he posted the cash and then charged with another crime that this had already happened. So I think we can go with a lower cash bail than what is being requested, but on the same basis that cash was set and all the other matters and the number of cases he's got, it probably makes sense to set cash bail here. So we'll make it 1,000 for this case. And conditions said you have no contact with Beth G. That doesn't mean in person, writing, telephone, email, text, any kind of contact whatsoever. And they also have no contact with the co-defendant, and that's got the wrong file in front of me here, so let me make sure we get this right. Co-defendant Alexander Metzger did not consume alcohol. He did not be at any premises where alcohol is sold. Is he going to waive the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
Sure, we'll wait time and try.
All right, we're going to schedule accordingly then. And that'll be it for today. Thank you. Good luck.
Next up is going to be Max Smith, appearing by Zoom from the jail. So before court vision.
Thanks. All right, can we unmute the computer there, and I need to confirm that that's Max Smith there. Do we have Max Smith there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. You're not charged with a crime. This is a forfeiture complaint. Just accused of a county ordinance violation, but not a crime. So we might be able to work this out today. Does the county have a proposal to resolve the case?
It'll be courthouse only, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, you have two choices. If you plead guilty or no contest, you'd be found guilty of the ordinance violation, and you'd have to make arrangements to pay $114.50 if you get some time to pay that. Second choice would be to plead not guilty. Then you'd have to come back later for a pretrial conference, and the case would proceed with a not guilty plea. So if you have a preference, you want to settle it and pay $114.50, or do you want to plead not guilty? Not hearing anything from Mr. Smith.
Hey, Tony, I was that total clearing.
Anybody catch that? Can the bailiff hear whether he's saying he wants to plead not guilty or guilty? Or do contest?
Not guilty.
All right. We'll enter a not guilty plea for you. And they'll get you a notice for another court date. This won't hold you in jail. So if there's nothing else holding you, you should be able to get released. Okay? Good luck. Thank you.
My name here.
Right, let's pull out job. Right. No, just a moment.
Right.
Nola.
All right, we'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Joshua Rice. We have two cases, 25 CM 972 and 25 CM 987. Get the appearances, please.
88 Jack Schneider for the state of Wisconsin.
Rice Division Person, Wisconsin, and Woodard, Lieutenant Officer. I advise the court that he's eligible for carbon defender. I do have two complaints in the matter. One complaint is April 21st, 2025. Regards to the matter, the two-count misdemeanors from a fine and public by the court, we stand mute. As per general, please not guilty. Second complaint is April 21, 2025. That too is the misdemeanor matter. Appears to be 4 counts in regards to that. But a fine and public by the court, we stand mute. That's court general, please, of not guilty.
One of the complaints has a mailing address on Cedar Street. Is that the right mailing address?
No, it's in 1905.
Okay, we can change both of them to the job center on 8 hours. All right. We'll find probable cause for both complaints. We'll enter not guilty pleas on Mr. Rice's behalf. What are the state's bail recommendations?
Your Honor, starting at 25 CM 987, that's the misdemeanor retail theft case, the state would recommend $250 cash bail, as well as a ban from JCPenney's. In 25 CM 972, the state would be recommending $500 cash bail, as well as the non-monetary conditions that Mr. Rice have no contact with Joseph. That's JOSEF. Last initial D as in dog. That he be banned from the Microtel Inn and Suites on East Springs Drive in Madison, and they not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. It's my understanding that Mr. Rice was placed on felony level probation with imposed in state prison time just on March 19th of 2025. And these two cases are his second and third misdemeanor cases that he has picked up in the past few weeks since he was placed on probation. In the 972 matter, it's also alleged that Mr. Rice gave a fake name to law enforcement. So given that he is already on probation with the possibility of prison and bail conditions weren't enough to prevent Mr. Rice from committing an additional crime, I do think that some cash bail is appropriate.
All right. We'll hear from the defense counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. There are different ways to determine, as counsel for the state has indicated, to keep him from doing anything further, quote unquote. Well, he is on supervision, and the agent in this matter have a copy of his revocation agreement where he's going to serve the Department of Corrections 120 days in a program called Rock Valley in Janesville. He will be there taking treatment. You're going to be taking treatment in order to deal with his situations that he's been in trouble with these type of charges before the court today. And he is prepared to leave in terms of the agent and has set this ready for him to go. Okay.
Okay.
In light of that situation, Your Honor, I know it normally cash bail might have been the case the appropriate pending case 25 CM 718 is a misdemeanor. But we're asking for a signature bond. Or I don't know if there's a way that we could do this, will allow him to be released upon his ATR being transferred to the placement that he has to go. I don't know how that works. They're gonna come get you, right? It must be also they're waiting like the they're gonna start you. So they will come picking you up and they're taking you there so the
All right. But so on one hand, the state has a basis to ask for the cash given the entirety of the circumstances. On the other hand, I think in this case, the involvement of probation and the proposal is really a better practical solution. So I'm going to allow signature bonds, and we'll hope that Mr. Rice can successfully cooperate with probation, and we'll allow that.
That's what our main thing is I'm not disputing the charges, it's the drugs. And I need to tell my PO that I need to stop eating drugs or figure out a way to, get off of drugs because it alters my thinking and it puts me in bad situations to do the dumbest stuff in the world. So I'm not disputing the charges. I'm just so glad to give me a chance to actually fix my life in the midst of me trying.
Let's do that. I appreciate that you seem committed to making some positive changes.
Yeah.
Signature bonds and all of the conditions, though, as requested. The case ending in 987 need not be in any J.C. Penney stores, and in the case ending in 972, no contact of Joseph D., which means that person writing, both email, text, any kind of contact whatsoever. They need not be at the Mike Hotel Inn and Suites on East Springs Drive in Madison,
Yes.
and not possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription of possessing any drug paraphernalia. And that'll do it for today. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Next, we're gonna do Zachary Girl. I am told by the jail up there that and apparently they lost connection, so we'll move on to our next one. It's gonna be Michael Smith. This will be for a bail hearing. Oh, yeah, I think. Michael Smith. Oh, we have up there. Well, there's two Smiths. People are gonna do on this party lighting. So this is the Michael Smith with the common sign.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We will go on the record in State of Wisconsin versus Michael Smith. Case number 21 CM 2536. We're here for a bail hearing. If we get the appearances, please.
Katie and Jack Schneider from the state of Wisconsin.
Attorney Stan Woodard with Spike Commissioner's Office, stated on behalf of Mr. Smith, who appears in person and eligible for a public defender. For the record, I do have a copy of the complaint this made.
And it looks like There's been a warrant outstanding for a significant amount of time since June of 2023. The record is indicating that he missed a plea hearing, and the Judge Flanagan at the time ordered a warrant with a $500 amount on it. So what is the state's position on bail today?
Your Honor, the state would be recommending $250 cash bail. It does look like Mr. Smith had a plea hearing to get into the deferred prosecution program back in June of 2023, failed to appear, and that has not resolved that warrant since. So from the state's perspective, the modest amount of cash bail is appropriate to get this case on track.
Your Honor, Mr. Smith was Columbia County. He's a person that doesn't have any place to stay. As a result of that, he put for places to stay out in Dane County, and he was there for a while. And ended up in Nixon Court trying to get back here. He's now here in Dane County. That's correct. And do we have a good address for you? We can say that. What's your address on it? Sadly. Fortunately, the things. Fortunately, is when you might get an address for Fortunately. Yeah. I don't know that just at the beginning. Well, he's at Porchlight. I don't know if we have that address or not, you know. But that's where he's staying at this point. It's a tough case. We recommend $150, Your Honor. We realize something should be paid. We're not trying to say another signature bond. But we are asking for a modest amount of cash bail. That's what the state has indicated in 1 cent. But we're recommending $150.
I'm finding an address for Porchlight at 306 North Brook Street. Can mail go there? We'll change his address to 306 North Brook Street, Madison 53715, and I'll go with a lower cash bail of $150. Mr. Smith, I'll be giving you notice for another court date, so to make sure you don't miss any future court, and also be aware that there's still a bail condition in effect that you not have any contact with Tara A. All right? Okay. Good luck. Thank you.
Commissioner, do you want just the no contact or no, the other resident also? Is it the same conditions as the
Same as before.
Okay, thank you.
So then up next one is now Ethan and Woodard. Woodard.
Where are you doing?
All right, we'll go on the record. In the state of Wisconsin versus Ethan Woodard, case number 25 CM 1034. Could we get the appearances, please?
Assistant District Attorney Jack Schneider with the state of Wisconsin.
Attorney Stan Woodard of the Biden Defender's Office. It's here with Mr. Ethan Woodard in regards to this case. So the record is clear. He and I have no connection in terms of family and things of that nature.
Okay.
He's a Woodard here, and I have Woodard family in another place, right? Just so the record's clear. I will acknowledge that he is eligible for a public defender number 2. I will acknowledge that you have a copy of the complaint. I'll wait reading of that complaint, Your Honor. As it pertains to the charges therein, they are misdemeanor charges from finding probable cause by court exam mute. That's for general pleas of not guilty.
Okay, and what about the address? Is 10 Sherman Terrace number 4 the right mailing address still? We're gonna need to update that. On the booking sheet, there's a Lops Gordon address.
We have an 18 here. I think that's the one you're referring to.
Right.
1803 law. Good. Here, what is this law?
So the address should be 1803 Lots Gordon Avenue, Madison 53704.
Yes.
Great, we'll get that updated. I will find probable cause. We will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Woodard's behalf. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $500 cash bail for Mr. Woodard, with the non-monetary conditions that you have no contact with Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y, last initials of G, B as in boy, and that he be banned from her address at 10 Sherman Terrace in Madison, Wisconsin. It's my understanding that Mr. Woodard was on probation with conditions not to have contact with Kelly GB and has been staying at her place. And then here, when law enforcement, when she was attempting to call law enforcement, grabbed her by the jaw and threw her down on her bed. So from the state's perspective, contact is not only inappropriate at this time, but is also a basis for cash bail, given that he was not to have contact with her based on the terms of his probation anyways.
Mr. Woodard, Your Honor, finds himself in a situation where obviously the alleged victim in this matter, he has to stay away from. They share a child together that is going to be 3 years old in about a month. And his contact therein was really based upon that. But obviously there's nothing here to show that he can attract and get contact with this child. Because the child is so young, he's going to have to either, I would think, have a third person get the child for him to see to then say something. Your mother, okay, your mother is signature. All right, that'll be the grandmother. So his grandmother is his mother, but the grandmother of the child would be someone that would intercede on his behalf to get the child, so he stays out of the house, stays out of the area, and doesn't have any violations. No calling, anything of that nature. You understand that? Yes. You're in misdemeanor battery here, but these are misdemeanor matters, Your Honor. They're not the most serious in the world. Obviously, they are criminal matters, though. So we're asking for a signature bond in light about this situation that came about, and he'll make amends. I don't believe there was. Let's see, was there a no contact? I don't see a no contact prior to this. Just an intimidation, misdemeanor battery, disturbing conduct. I don't see any prior situations where there are additional charges such as anyway. Messing these things up so he gets an increased charge. He doesn't have that with misdemeanor. So we ask for misdemeanor, Your Honor, with no contact, stay away from the victim, can call the victim, and allow the fact to see his child through his mother, who's the grandmother, would pick up the child, bring the child back, give him a chance to see the child. That's what I'm thinking.
What about the address?
The address, can you stay away from this address?
If he has a condition on that, being on that block, then we can't use that as his mailing address. I would presume so. Oh, we did change it. I'm sorry, I forgot. Complaint had the Sherman address, and I forgot we did already change it. Okay. Thank you. All right, this is what we'll do. I'll allow a lower cash bail. Hopefully, you'd be able to post. So we'll set it at $200, and we'll have a condition that Mr. Woodard have no contact with Kelly TV, except through a third party and only for purposes of arranging child custody or care. Be aware, though, if there's a probation condition that's more strict, I have no jurisdiction over that, and so you have to follow all conditions. So if probation's not allowing the third contact with a third party, then you have to abide by that. So we'll have a further condition that Mr. Woodard not be at 10 Sherman Terrace. And I think that covers what was requested. And does he qualify for a public defender?
He does, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Next is gonna be Demetrius Shepard, who transfers the ultimate jail.
Okay. Can we confirm that we have Mr. Shepard there? We'll call the case. We'll need to get the computer to be unmuted just so we can confirm that Mr. Shepard's there and he can hear us. We'll call State of Wisconsin versus Demetrius Shepard. Case number 25 CM 1033. Could we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state.
Attorney Stan Woodard with the Public Defender's Office, screen on behalf of Mr. Shepard, who is eligible for a public defender. I do have a copy of the complaint. I waive reading of that complaint, Your Honor. These are misdemeanor matters.
Wait, hold just a moment. Sorry, we lost our connection.
We're back.
It's not sure yet.
Shall we?
Yana, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Do we have Mr. Shepard there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Your attorney for today is making an appearance on your behalf.
Okay, I need a signature bond because I can't afford anything else. I don't have Social Security. I haven't received it in 3-4 months, and I'm kicked out of the shelter, so I have no.
Okay, I'll take that under consideration. We haven't gotten to that point yet, so Mr. Woodard, go ahead and continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a copy of the complaint. I waive reading of that complaint as it pertains to the matters that they're in. Count 1 is the possession of drug paraphernalia. That's a 30-day potential violation. The rest of these matters, 2, 3, and 4, are misdemeanor bail jumping matters, Your Honor. In light of that matter, anyway, we stand you just for dinner, please, and not guilty.
I'm pleading guilty.
Mr. Shepard, if you're released, is your mailing address 902 Moore Street, number 85 in Baraboo?
Can't get in touch with anyone there. I'm homeless. I have nowhere to stay.
Oh.
The only address I have to use is 1819 Aybird Avenue.
Okay, we'll change the address for the court records to 1819 Aybird then.
Yes.
So we're a not guilty plea on as to all counts. I will find probable cause. And what is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $300 cash bail with the non-monetary condition that Mr. Shepard not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. It's my understanding that he now has 7 open cases. He was out of custody less than a week after missing court, or after court, before picking up this case. So from my perspective, modest cash bail is appropriate.
All right. Response from defense counsel?
Yeah, we're going to be asking for signature bond, primarily because this whole situation is upon count 1, which is a 30-day violation, possession of drug paraphernalia. So the point of the matter is, with a 30-day violation in terms of this count 1, the people didn't have to worry about misdemeanor bail jumping. That's a lot. That's a lot when he just possessed paraphernalia, did not in any event use any uncontrolled controlled substances. So we're asking for a signature bond.
All right. Well, I should probably know Mr. Shepard's own statement that he doesn't have money to post. So this does seem like a case where we give it a try with a minimal cash bail, and he may or may not be able to post. If he's not able to, he or his attorney can ask the clerk to revisit the bail. But let's set a minimal $100 cash bail. We'll have another condition that Mr. Shepard not possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription or possess any drug paraphernalia. And we know that he qualifies for a public defender. It would seem that he would. Have you confirmed that?
Yes, Your Honor, we have it.
Great. Okay, thank you. Good luck, Mr. Shepard.
Next up is gonna be Sarah Lustig. Thank you, Judge. You're the let's get you the next. The next is sorry, you all.
We'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Sarah Lustig, case number 25 CF 1109. Can we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state.
Last name, first person on the council stand order of the defender's office. And advise the court is eligible for a defendant. A direct copy of the complaint in this matter, or when reading this complaint, the first reading of two counts contained therein, but like the statement, they are misdemeanor counts on the fire department called by the court. The stand mute as per their piece of not guilty.
Okay, and is there an address where Ms. Lustig can receive mail?
26 Sweet Sparrow Place. Yeah.
26 Sweet
Sparrow Place.
Sparrow. Sweet Sparrow. SPARROW. I'll get it down. Place, Sun Prairie. 53590.
You have
It's a
that?
two word sweet
Was it
sparrow.
Sweet Sparrow or was it just Sparrow?
Sweet Sparrow Place.
SPARROW. Place, PL or place.
We'll get the address updated.
26.
Okay, I'll find probable cause. We'll enter a not guilty plea as to the misdemeanor count. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending a signature bond with a non-monetary condition that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
We have no objection to the recommendation made by the state.
I'll order a signature bond. Will have the conditions that Ms. Lustig not possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription or possess any drug paraphernalia. Is she waiving the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right, we'll get it set for a status conference. Thank you. Good luck, Ms. Lustig.
Next up is going to be Sarah Sapp.
Let's shit, man. What you doing about shit?
Okay. We will go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Sarah Sapp, case number 25 CF 805. Could we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state.
Understand Woodard with the public defender's office, on behalf of this staff, the person, and who is eligible for a public defender. I have a copy of the complaint. I waive reading of this complaint as it pertains to a one-count violation. It's a felony matter or a finding of probable cause by the court. We'd be requesting a preliminary hearing.
Okay, and we don't have an address on the complaint. On the booking sheet, there's an address on Lake Road in Windsor.
Yep, it's 6514 Lake Road, 206. Windsor.
6514 Lake Road, number 206, Windsor 53598.
That's it.
We'll get it updated. I will find probable cause. And what is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $1,500 cash bail for Ms. Sapp, as well as the non-monetary condition that she had no contact with James, last initial of L. It's my understanding that Ms. Sapp does have a criminal history in Alaska and most recently in 2024 in Nebraska, and actually still has an outstanding warrant for a failure to appear in Alaska in 2019. It's my understanding as well that Ms. Sapp has been staying with the victim in this matter for about a month before the allegations here, where she allegedly stole victim's vehicle, and it is thought that she has no connections from the state's perspective to the Madison area besides the victim. So from the state's perspective, again, given the lack of ties to the community and her failure to appear history, I do think that some cash raise is appropriate. Okay.
Is there a pending situation in Alaska where it was?
They've been released.
They released it?
Yeah, they released it.
You got a treatment plan?
Yeah, it's right on the days.
You already like do treatment plan? Thank you, Lord, your mom day. Oh, we get you. Well, she does have family here, Your Honor. Her mother lives in Windsor, and the address that we've given the court for further information, our court dates. So, we're asking for a signature bond, Your Honor. And that's so she can get into treatment. That's what she wants to do. So that's our request.
Okay. Well, it's a mitigating factor if he's got a family here, so I think the state has a point with the ties to other faraway states, which would increase the flight risk. But well, let's go with the lower cash bail and hopefully she can post. So we'll call it $500. Conditions of no contact with James L. I guess that was the one specific condition. And that doesn't mean in person, in writing, phone, email, text, any kind of contact whatsoever. And is she waiving the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
No, Your Honor.
We'll get a preliminary hearing scheduled in a timely manner then. Thank you.
Next up is John Strauss.
It's one. Right here, right here. You're okay, Stan? I can't tell a single one, I can't tell someone. Nothing was supposed to be is she. I guess it's a little how that don't discuss it. It's been details for Nick my act. Right, there's the guy. And what's the life? Well, we see Leing's and she opened and the back.
All right, we'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus John Strauss, case number 25 CM 1041. Could we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Strauss, I have a person, counsel Stan Woodard of the Public Defender's Office. I can advise the court that he's eligible for a public defender. Matter of fact, there is a pending case here in this county, and he is waiting on the defendants for that matter. I do have a copy of the complaint. Wait, reading of this complaint, so pertaining to the charges therein, they are misdemeanor matters on the fine probably filed by the authority stand mute. That's the court general pleads of not guilty.
And he's released is the address in Milner, North Dakota, the right mailing address. Okay, we have a better address then.
Here's my job policy of mentions. 18 Dickinson Street, Edgerton, Wisconsin. 53534.
May I have that again, please? Just a little slower for me.
Steve French's 818 Dickinson Street, Edgerton, Wisconsin, 53534.
Thank you.
Larry Lawson, voice here.
We'll get that updated. I'll find probable cause. We'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Strauss's behalf. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $1,000 cash bail from Mr. Strauss, as well as the non-monetary condition that he have no contact with Monica. That's MONICA, last initials of PW. This is Mr. Strauss's second open Dane County case with the same victim. He also has an open case in Sauk County with the same victim, as well as 2 open cases in Waukesha County. It's my understanding that Mr. Strauss posted $1,000 cash bail in Waukesha County in one of his Waukesha County cases on April 7th of this year. And here, a month later, is violating the terms of that bail while not only committing this offense, but having contact with this individual. And not only having contact, but having violent contact. So from the state's perspective, additional cash bail is appropriate.
She wrote me. This happened the day before. This happened. The next day, the next morning at 6:20 in the morning, she did this and she goes, I'm gonna make sure you go to judge's center. And hope you're on this fucking affect anything else.
Well, but Mr. Strauss is speaking on, I don't mind the court hearing that or the ADA that matter. Glad what he's saying here about it, because he's got an issue with his right arm. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, it is. And on his night, I want to have to contact me for one to do with it.
Well, it looks like the contact through his hand, whatever, was because of his alleged victim in this matter. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And now he's in a situation where he needs to get medical treatment when it gets worse. He's indicated now the
I do awkward things. Just like my medicine, all of me have medicine. Please have
Strauss is willing to come up with $400, Your Honor. And with that, be able to go into the treatment. If the doctor looked at the situation of the hospital, more than likely is where he'll go. But he is willing to get together $400.
All right. There is reasonable basis for some cash bail, but I'll give Mr. Strauss a chance with the $400. So I'll set $400 cash bail, but we will have strict conditions. No contact with Monica PW. That means a person writing phone email type saying no contact whatsoever. And I think that covers what we need to do today. So
yes, sir.
Do we know that he qualifies for a public defender?
He does, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Can you put it so she can't contact me either?
I don't have jurisdiction over that because she's not charged. So you just have to do everything you can. So if we were to try to contact you, you have to ignore it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Plus $400, correct? That's correct, bro. All right, thank you, sir. All right.
Next up
Thank
is
you,
gonna
brother.
be Wagner.
Wagner? Yeah. You know why it's.
Sorry, who do we have here?
This is Kevin Wagner.
Great, thank you. We'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Kevin Wagner, case number 25CM1040. Could we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state.
Mr. Wagner, the person, Your Honor, was found to stand in order to appoint Defender's office and been advised the authority is eligible for a public defender and you have a copy of the complaint. I waive reading of that complaint and speaking out to misdemeanors. I'm finding probable cause by the court be stand mute. Ask for general pleas of not guilty.
We have an address on Waltham Road. Is that the right mailing address?
Good for you, Waltham. She's over the same. Here's the thing, so they have to go by my father. Here's the deal, and I say that respectfully. He's gonna stay with his father because of the alleged charge here and misdemeanors. You don't have to stay away from this person.
Okay.
Correct. So do you have the address of your dad? Yes. 7420 West Bend Road, Riverside, Wisconsin. And the zip is I can't remember the zip code for my nationality.
We should be able to look it up, I think. We'll look it up. Should it be in the care of someone else's name to make sure you get the mail? Or will it go with your name, it'll get there?
It doesn't be on box and will be residing.
Right, same last name?
Yes.
Okay, it should be safe enough then. Okay, we'll get it updated. I want to make sure that you get mail in the future. So just reviewing the complaint here.
Yeah, was working WST. RD. Or so I said English yard beyond. Yard. Yes. So yes. Yeah, so I saw Wisconsin W. I gotcha. It started showing me that still said. Right.
I'll find probable cause. We'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Wagner's behalf. What is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond for Mr. Wagner with the non-monetary conditions. Excuse me, that he have no contact with Ibrahim. That's Ibrahim, last initial of S. And that he be banned from the 2600 block of Waltham Road in Madison.
Yes, perfectly fine. I just have my stumps that my mother will take off. Really sure side there. If don't you ever roll, so you're over there. No, I'm not hiring nothing. He was there.
All right, I'll go on with a signature bond with the conditions. Mr. Wagner had no contact with Ibrahim S. That doesn't mean in person, writing, phone, email, text, any kind of contact whatsoever. And then he's in the 2600 block Waltham Road in Madison. Okay, and we'll get it scheduled further proceedings and good luck. Thank you. Okay,
Next up is Sean Mims.
We're going to record in the state of Wisconsin versus Sean Mims, case number 25 CF 1113. Could we get the appearances, please?
Assistant District Attorney Jack Schneider for the state.
Attorney Stan Woodard with the Public Defender's Office, standing on behalf of Mr. Mims, who appears in person, is eligible for a public defender. I do have a copy of the complaint in this matter, and when reading that complaint, the two charges contained herein that are felony matters, finding a probable cause by the court, to be requesting a preliminary hearing.
And we have an address on Thoreau Drive in Sun Prairie. Is that the right mailing address? Okay. Great. I will find probable cause, and what is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $10,000 cash bail for Mr. Mims, with the non-monetary conditions that he not use to possess any dangerous weapons, and that he not use to possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Mr. Mims is a convicted felon several times over. Here, during a search of his residence, law enforcement found a loaded AR-15 under his sink, as well as several loaded magazines. He's obviously prohibited from possessing any firearms due to those convictions. Additionally, in the bedside table, officers located just under 500 grams of suspected fentanyl pills. There are significant felony charges for that. And upon conviction, will almost guarantee a prison sentence. The possibility of federal indictment given that amount of quantity of drugs. So from the state's perspective, significant cash bail is absolutely appropriate given the nature of the charges.
Your Honor, thank you for the time. Mr. Mims, I have some issues regarding these two charges that are not the type of issues we can talk about now. Let's put it like that. We're asking for a reasonable amount of cash bail. We're not going to wait time limits, so there will be a preliminary hearing on this as soon as reasonably possible. But at this point, we're asking for a strike that for a reasonable amount of it.
All right. Given the entirety of the circumstances here, the request for $10,000 is very reasonable. I'm going to go with that number, given the allegations, the potential penalties, and some of the other details that I don't need to go into today. So $10,000 cash bail, specific bail conditions instruments, not possess any type of dangerous weapon and not possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription or possessing drug paraphernalia. He's not waiving time limits, so we will get this set for a timely preliminary hearing. Does he qualify for a public defender?
We don't wait time limits, Ron.
Right, we're going to schedule that, but I'm asking about the public defender representation.
Excuse me, Your Honor. He's eligible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we'll do Michael Smith. It's MYKG.
Yeah.
Mike Allen. You're not afraid. Yeah.
We're going on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Michael Smith, case number 25 CF 1114. Could we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Smith, a critical person, the Wisconsin State Woodard from the Public Defender's Office. So I understand here this. You have a private attorney or someone says you're reaching out to your father. Yeah, you think you're going to get a lawyer for this case? I say, they all represent you then for today. Is that okay? All right. I represent Mr. Smith at this time, Your Honor. It appears I have no information here whether he's eligible for a public defender or not. But I will represent for the purposes of on that. I'm going not to receive the complaint in this matter. It appears that this matter is the one count of felony matter complaint by the court. We stand mute. That's court tender to break it back for a preliminary hearing.
Okay, and we have an address on West Karstens. Is that the right mailing address? Okay, I'll find probable cause and let's get the state's recommendation on bail.
Your Honor, at this time, the state is recommending $3,000 cash bail for Mr. Smith, with the non-monetary condition that he not operate a motor vehicle of any kind. Mr. Smith allegedly here fled from 3 separate agencies on a motorbike, traveling many times into oncoming traffic on city streets, ignoring traffic signals, ignoring traffic signs, and ignoring lights and sirens. Mr. Smith allegedly went on bike paths through fields before fleeing on foot. Additionally, he's under a cash bond of $10,000 in Fond du Lac case 24 CF 742. So given that he had that much on the line and he's still fleeing from law enforcement, the state does have serious concerns about his ability to show up in court on his own volition.
Your Honor, Mr. Smith, all right, the 24 CF 742 in front of that is a car, Your Honor, just so we're aware.
It's what?
A car is automobile. They're in front of it. In this case here, this is a two-wheeler. What do you call it? If you did. It's a mini bike. So that's what I can do. It's a mini bike. That's how he went over the hill and through the woods and all that. Doing that because he was on a mini bike. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying it wasn't an automobile, four-wheel automobile, or anything of that thing. Still, he was supposed to stop. He didn't. So we're not minimizing that. Your Honor, Mr. Smith is both $500 for bail. I know there's quite a bit that was posted on 24 CF 742 with Fond du Lac. That's the reason why any additional funds is going to be tough for him, but he can't post 500. In light of the fact this was some type of two-wheeler that he was driving as opposed to a four-wheeler. I think that a legal amount of this reasonable amount of bail is fairly close. Thank you.
All right. We'll look at the other case. Looks like that was a possession with intent case in Fond du Lac County where he had the higher cash bail. There's some factors that go either direction here, I think. Let's go with I think there's a basis for some cash bail, especially with a criminal history out of another county, so a recent criminal history. So let's call it $1,000. What I'm also going to include, though, a specific bail condition that Mr. Smith not operate a motor vehicle while his case is pending. That includes motorcycles and mini bikes. So make sure that's complied with. And is he going to waive the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Well, get it scheduled accordingly then. Do we know that he qualifies for a public defender?
No, we do not, Joe.
That'll be followed up on then, presumably.
We're giving that opportunity.
Fine. Mr. Smith, if you need assistance, you should get in touch with the public defender's office, okay? All right. Good luck. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Last one's gonna be Sebastian Dominguez.
So seven and have to be
We'll go on the record in the state of Wisconsin versus Sebastian Dominguez, case number 25 CF 1107. Can we get the appearances, please?
Jack Schneider for the state of Wisconsin.
Current standing order with the public defender's office on behalf of Mr. Dominguez. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. That's it. Thank you. I can advise the court he's eligible for a public defender. I do have a copy of the complaint this matter. I wait reading of this complaint. Count 2 is a felony matter, which is and count. Well, I'll do count 2 is a felony matter upon that, Your Honor, regarding Mr. Dominguez. Sebastian Dominguez, yes. In regards to that, we would be requesting, Stan, you would be requesting a preliminary hearing. Count 3 is with Sebastian Dominguez. That's a misdemeanor 1 year. It's a misdemeanor man. Finding probable cause. Count 3, we would stand mute. That's for a plea of not guilty.
Okay. And let's check the address. Looks like he has an address on 9th Avenue in Wisconsin Dells. Is that the correct mailing address?
We don't claim it's mistaken. Yeah, that's the 100. We have a new address, Your Honor. It's 10808 10808 US Highway 14. That's in Brooklyn, Wisconsin.
53521.
Yes. Okay, we'll get that updated. I will find probable cause. We will enter a not guilty plea as to the misdemeanor count. And what is the state's recommendation on bail?
Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond for Mr. Dominguez with the non-monetary condition that he not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
There's no objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a signature bond with that specific condition that Mr. Dominguez not possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription and possess any drug paraphernalia. And is he waiving the time limits for the preliminary hearing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
We'll get a status conference scheduled then. You have a
I just moved to the address too, so that's a good address for me. For 108.
Yep. Okay, good. Okay. Good luck, man. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you.
Brian Sneary again?
I talked to the bailiff, or use it for thing.
They ask you, or they say no?
He said he's refusing offer us.
He's still refusing to participate. I mean, do we need to call on to the official leaders?
Exactly, you're split out.
Yeah, good question.
Both of these.
Should we go on the record on both of them?
I don't know. Whatever you like.
It's up to you, Judge, just send them all to the board.
But we can have can we just have the court record indicate defendant refused to cooperate, reschedule for Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
You too. Have a good weekend.
You're
Why
welcome.
don't we do both?